We're talking about a blueprint for the entire AI economy.
Yeah.
But the core idea, the actual mechanism, comes from 1981 for oil and gas.
It feels like a glitch in the timeline, doesn't it? But you're right, that 1981 legislation is, well, it's the skeleton key. To understand how we build this sovereign intelligence economy, you have to go back to Raymond Plank.
At Apache Corporation. The creation of the Master Limited Partnership, the MLP. Now, when I hear MLP, my brain just goes to, boring tax loopholes.
Sure, and that's what most people think. For Plank, this wasn't really about tax, it was about solving illiquidity.
Illiquidity.
Yeah, before 1981, if you invested in some drilling partnership, your money was just stuck, trapped. So Plank rolled up, I think it was 33 of them, into one single entity.
And listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
Exactly, and suddenly the little guy could buy a piece of major energy infrastructure just like buying a share of stock.
He basically democratized the oil well.
Yeah.
And that's the mental model we need for today. Because we're not drilling for oil anymore.
We're drilling for data. That is the pivotal shift we're seeing. We're moving from a digital economy, which is, all up in the cloud, to a physical AI economy.
Down here on the ground.
And that new economy needs its own kind of well. It needs physical infrastructure to capture intelligence at the source, on the edge.
Which brings us to the public infrastructure network node. It sounds a little technical.
It does, but the analogy the sources use is perfect. They call the PINN a data wellhead.
Ah, okay. That clicks.
Yeah.
So instead of capturing crude oil,
it captures local intelligence, traffic patterns, weather, you name it. It's all processed right there on the street corner. It's sensors and 5G and edge computing all packed into one smart pole.
And the scale here is just staggering. Morgan Stanley is projecting, 1.5 million of these nodes?
Over the next 5 to 7 years, yeah.
And you can't just put that on a credit card. Which brings us back to the financing. This is where the MIPP comes in.
The Master Infrastructure PINN partnership. It's not a copy of the old MLP. It's more of an evolution, a hybrid.
Bifurcation part. This is the piece that really made sense to me. You take the old MLP and you combine it with a REIT, a real estate investment trust.
You've got it. Think of it like splitting the asset. The REIT layer owns the real property. The physical pole, the concrete base, the power hookup.
The safe, boring stuff. Perfect for, a pension fund.
Exactly. But then you have the MLP layer. And that layer owns the data commodity, the AI inference, the spectrum access, the actual flow of information.
Which is the high-growth, higher-risk part.
So you match conservative capital to the steel, and you match growth capital to the data. It solves the funding problem.
And this isn't just a theory. I mean, we're seeing this in the real world.
The drone as a first responder program?
That was the big aha moment.
It completely changes what emergency response even means. Sometimes the drone gets there and shows that the police don't even need to roll out. It's incredible.
And that's just one city. The sources also mention the DoD's Golden Dome project and AI RAN.
AI RAN, yeah, which is basically refactoring how we use our radio spectrum. What we're really doing here is building a countrywide nervous system.
But a nervous system needs legal standing, right?
Right.
Which is where that proposed Digital Edge Infrastructure Commerce Act comes into play.
That's the legislative bridge. It would treat sovereign intelligence data as a qualifying resource, just like oil and gas were back in the 80s. It aligns the law with this new reality.
It's a lot to take in. We're moving from a world of passive infrastructure, just concrete and steel, to one where it's intelligent and reactive. That's the thought I want to leave you with. If the interstate highway system defined the 20th century, this intelligent infrastructure might define the 21st.